Are you getting ready for job interview and would like to put your mind to a test? Excel assessment test questions you're about to review appear to be simple and uncomplicated, but they have been challenging for most users of Microsoft Excel. This video is especially relevant if you have used Excel in the past and just trying to refresh your knowledge and learn latest features, or if you're applying for a job and need to pass Excel assessment test. This video is especially relevant if you have used Excel in the past and just trying to refresh your knowledge and learn latest features, or if you're applying for a job and require to pass Excel assessment test. This video will help you in both situations because these are the questions you will definitely going to be asked. Make sure to watch the entire video from the beginning to the end, as we have references to different features in between the steps, and we don't want you to miss any of it. Are you ready to put your mind to a test? If you're up for the challenge, click the subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. Also, please share this video with someone you know who would benefit from this knowledge. We have a community of people here helping each other, and you have the best opportunity to learn Excel and get ready for Excel interview and assessment test here. And please post in comments to let us know how many of these questions you answered correctly. And don't worry, I'll provide you with the right answers to get you prepared. Now let's go ahead and get started. One of the tricky questions that being asked is this. To create a new tab in Excel, you do, and then there are 4 choices. Click File, New Tab. Use Ctrl-T keyboard shortcuts. Clicking plus sign next to existing Excel sheet. Or click New Icon in Quick Access toolbar in Excel. Which one would you choose? Here is the variation of this question. To create a new sheet in Excel, you do this, and then there are 4 choices. Use Ctrl-T keyboard shortcut. Click File, New Sheet. Click New Icon in Quick Access toolbar in Excel, or right mouse click on the existing sheet and select Insert. Which one would you choose? Here's the question to test your knowledge of custom Excel date formats. Which Excel date format would you use to display date January 1st of 2020 as January-20? And then there are 4 choices. Month-YY, MMMM-YY, MMM-YY, or month-short year. Which one would you choose? Here's the question to test your knowledge of Excel formulas that work with the dates. Which Excel formula would increment month to the next and allow display February-20 in the cell A3? And you present it with the choice where January-20 is displayed in the cell A2. And then there are 4 possible options. A2 plus 1, date, year, comma months, plus 1, comma day A2. Then there is a month formula, A2 plus 1, and then there is a date formula, A2 plus 1. So which one would you choose? Here's another Excel assessment test question you might encounter. Which Excel formula would you use in one cell to generate random numbers between 200 and 500 in the range between B2 and F13? And then there are 4 choices. Rand function, rand between function, rand array function, none of the above. And keep in mind that A through C are all valid Excel functions. So which one would you choose? To get you ready with the answers, we'll complete this quick 10-step exercise where we will cover all relevant answers to this Excel interview and assessment test questions. At the end of the exercise, you will have all the knowledge needed to pass the test and answer these tricky questions. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the step 1. Create new tab in Excel and call it Monthly Sales. To create a new tab in Excel, in the bottom left corner you need to click the plus sign, and it creates a new tab. Right now it's called Sheet 3, but we would need to call it Monthly Sales. And we can go back and mark this step as complete. Let's go and complete step 2 of the exercise, which asks us to enter abbreviations for any 10 states in the United States that you know into horizontal cells of rows. We go back to the Monthly Sales tab, and I'll enter the sales information about the states in the rows A through L. Alaska, Arizona, Illinois, Wisconsin, New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Ohio, Indiana. And we can go back and mark this step as complete. Let's go to the step 3 of the exercise where we would need to change states abbreviations to bold. There are multiple ways to do it. I'll show you 2 ways. One is to select the cells that contain sales information, and then you can either mark it bold right here, or you can do a right mouse click and bold is available right here. I'll use the second option, and we can go back and mark this step as complete. Let's go and complete step 4 of the exercise, and there are multiple sub-steps in step 4. The first one is we need to insert new row to the left of the first state. Then we need to type January-current year in that cell, and then convert column to the type date. So let's go and do all 3 parts of this exercise. The first one, we need to insert the new column to the left of the first state. So to do that, to insert new column, we click on the column itself and click Insert, and it inserts empty column. Here, we need to type January, and then this year is 2020, so we'll type January 2020. And then we need to assign the data type to column A as date. So we will use the short date, and that's the data type that we will assign. Now we can go back and mark this step as complete. Let's go to step 5, and here we need to convert column with months to the format of months, year. So for example, we converted to short date format, but actually our targeted format would be January-20, because it will only have name of the months, dash, and then the last 2 digits of the year. There are multiple ways to do it, but both of them lie in the custom formats. There's no default option here in the list, so we need to go here into more different formats. We look at the date format. That's one of the ways to do it, and one of the formats in date, for example, March 12, that will be our targeted format, so we can choose that. Or another option, if you navigate to custom, the same format is defined here as MMM, which stands for full month, dash year. So I'll go and choose this option, even though this format seems very similar to the one we're looking for, but it's not the same. It only shows first 3 letters of the month. So to pick the right format, we need to go and extend it to 4 digits, and that sample will show January-20. So once we do that, that's our targeted format, and we can go back and mark this step as complete. Let's go to the next step where we need to extend January a year to other months of the year using formula. Highlight the months as bold. So this is a 2-step exercise again, and we need to cover all 12 months here, but instead of typing them, we need to use formula. So let's go back here to monthly sales tab, and the formula that we are going to use is called a date formula. To use date formula, we need to type in equal, and then here we have 3 components: year, months, and date. Year would be the same, day would be the same. The only thing we would need to increment by 1 would be months. This is how final version of the formula looks like. We are referencing cell A2, and we have 3 components. Year is the same as in A2, months is the same plus 1, and then day would be the same as in A2. And if we hit enter, it will calculate February, and then we can expand this formula and extend it for the next 12 months. And then the only thing we need to do is change the format again. So we use custom format, and Excel should remember that format that we've typed. And once we enter it, we need to expand the column by double clicking. And the last step would be to mark all these values as bold as requested in the exercise. So now I'm going to use this button here on the ribbon to mark them bold. And we can go back and mark this step as complete. In step 7, we would need to use Excel formula to generate sequence of random numbers between 200 and 500 as sales values. To do that, let's navigate to the monthly sales tab. And if you remember correctly, we have 10 states here, and we have 12 months. And we need this information because we will be using rand array formula. To do that, we navigate to Formulas tab and click on Insert Function button. I do have this formula as number 1 because I used it recently, but you can also search for this function by typing function name. But I'm just going to double click on the rand array function. And here you have 5 different parameters that this formula accepts. We have 12 rows because we have 12 months here. We have 10 columns because we have 10 states. Here we have minimum value, which is 200. And then we have maximum value, which is 500. And here as an integer, if you read the instructions, we can return an integer or a decimal value. True would be for integer and false would be for the decimal value. We need a decimal value because we need a sales numbers, and sales numbers would represent dollars and cents, and we would need to format them after we generate decimal numbers to accounting format. So let's use false for decimal number, and then we can click OK. And you see that it populated based on the values that we have entered all our table with the random set of values. We can go back and mark this step as complete. Let's go and complete step 8 of the exercise, where we need to assign accounting data type to the generated sales numbers. To do that, let's navigate to the monthly sales tab, and here we need to select all array of values. We'll make it a little bit smaller so everything fits on the screen, and pick the accounting data format. And you see that we have dollars and cents assigned here, and we can mark this step as complete. Let's go and complete step 9 of the exercise, where we need to create a new total row and calculate total row for year for each state. To do that, we need to navigate back to our monthly sales tab, and we will create a total row, and we can format it to align it to the right. And here in the column B, what we need to do, we need to use a sum formula. And if we type sum, click this button right here on the ribbon, it automatically predicts what are the numbers we're looking for. And it's the set of numbers between B2 and B13, which is exactly what we're looking for. We hit enter. And now we can just replicate this formula. You see that there is a small box here at the bottom of the rectangle that highlights this cell, and I just selected it and dragged it, and it replicates the formula to the rest of the columns here. And you see that it doesn't fit, so what we need to do, we need to expand it. To do it, we select all the rows and we double click on the separator between the rows, and once we do that, all of the numbers are visible, and I can scale back a little bit so we see all the numbers, and zoom out, and we can go back and mark this step as complete. In the last step, we need to copy sales table to avoid regeneration of the numbers. So let's go to the monthly sales tab. I'll first show you what is regeneration of the numbers and why do we want to avoid this. If we go to formulas, because we use the rand array formula, every time something happens, for example, I click calculate now in formula, you see that it regenerates and provides a random set of numbers. To make them numbers permanent, we need to copy this table. First, we need to select it, then navigate back to the Home tab, and then click a copy button. And then starting with the cell A16, we just need to paste, but not just paste, but paste as values. And you see that it will remember the last set of values. It lost some of the formatting, so we may need to restore bold format on the states, and we need to restore accounting format on the numbers. So that's very easy to do. And then the last step, we might consider also adding a grid around this to make it look more professional. And we can go back and mark this step as complete. Now let's come back to our questions so we can get the correct answers. To create new tab in Excel, what would you do? And the right answer here is you click the plus sign next to the existing Excel sheet. When you open up new Excel sheet, next to the sheet 1, there is a small plus sign. And to create a new tab, you just click on the plus sign and that creates a new sheet. You see, I just clicked and it created sheet 2. And here's the correct answer. Keep in mind that term Excel tab is the same as Excel sheet, and they're used in questions and held documentations interchangeably. Here's the variation of this question, which provides you with the different choices. To create new sheet in Excel, you use Ctrl-T keyboard shortcut. Click File, New Sheet. Click New icon on the Quick Access toolbar, or right mouse click on existing sheet and select Insert. Let's use exclusion to answer this question correctly. Exclusions is one of the methods where you exclude possible choices to come up with the right answer. Ctrl-T keyboard shortcut is used to create new tables. not new sheets. File New Sheet option doesn't exist in Excel menu. New icon in a quick access toolbar, create new workbook, not a new sheet. So through the method of exclusion, we came to choice D, which is the right mouse click on existing sheet and select Insert. To create new sheet in Excel, you right mouse click on the sheet 1, click Insert, and select Worksheet. And that added a new worksheet into Excel spreadsheet. So the right choice here is choice D. Right mouse click on existing sheet and select Insert. Other choices are designed to trick you to believe that you might be the right answer, but they are not the valid option in Excel or incorrect for this particular question. Let's look at the question, which Excel date format would you use to display date January 1st, 2020 as January-20? There are 4 choices presented: month-YY, MMMM-YY, 3Ms and -YY, and then month-short year. To answer this question correctly, it requires your knowledge of custom Excel date formats. Custom formats located under the Home tab in the Number section. If you click Number in this expansion button here on the Number section, you see different choices. This is not a default format of what we are looking to change it to, as if you scroll down, you do not see it on the list. To create this format, we need to go to the Custom Format sections and look at the possible options. Obviously, if you have access to Excel during the test, you can just go and try any one of these formats. But there is a logic to the custom formats dates in Excel. For example, you do not see the full words like month or year or short year here on the list. You only see specific letters representing the months. For example, if we pick 3Ms-YY, it will present months as the 3-letter months. In our case, January-20, JAN-20. Let me show you one cool trick right here in the Format Cells dialog box. You do not even have to leave the dialog box to see how the final format date is going to look like. When I choose the different custom format, or if I type the format, it shows it right in the sample sections. You see, as I'm switching in between sections, it changes how sample is going to look like. And you can try an experiment, for example, by adding number of letters M in your custom format. So the correct answer to this question is 4Ms-YY. All other choices are designed to trick you. If we go back to the question, the correct answer is B, 4Ms-YY. All other choices are designed to trick you to believe that you might be looking at the right answer, but they are not valid options in Excel or incorrect for the particular question. Let's look at the question, which Excel formula would increment month to the next and allow display February 20 in the cell A3. Here in the screenshot, we have January-20 in the cell A2, and there are 4 formulas presented as choices. In choice A, we have A2 plus 1, which makes logical sense. In the choice B, we have more complicated formula using date function. In the choice C, we have month A2 plus 1, and in the choice D, we have date A2 plus 1. So which one would you choose? Which one do you think is the right answer? And as you might have figured out by now, the right choice is choice B. We have the complex formula because date in Excel is very complex. You can increment the year by 1, months by 1, or date by 1. And in our case, we're only incrementing month by 1. So once we type the formula, we see that the right value shows up here, which would be February 2020. We just need to change the format here. And to change the format, we can use Format Painter. We just need to highlight the current format that we're looking at and apply it to this cell and expand it a little bit so it fits. So the correct answer is B, with this complex date formula where only month is being incremented by 1. All other choices are designed to trick you. Let's look at the question, which Excel formula would you use in one cell to generate random numbers between 200 and 500 in the range between B2 and F13. And it shows you a sample of the random values, which has values after decimal point, and the range we're looking at between B2 and F13 populated with the numbers in the predefined range. And there are 4 choices. We have rand, rand between, rand array. All 3 of those are valid Excel functions. And in the choice D, none of the above. So how would you answer? What do you think is the right choice? And if you followed along during the practice exercise, you probably learned that the rand array is the right function. And the key here is that it asks in one cell. So to use the rand array function, you would use this syntax. You will specify how many rows will you need to add, how many columns, which is 5 in our case, what is the range of values, 200 through 500, and then you will decide if you want any values after the decimal point. And if we hit enter, it will populate our values with the random numbers in the predefined range. You probably can consider other functions like rand or rand between as valid choices to answer this question, if there wouldn't be a statement here to use in one cell. Because rand array really expands, you put it in one cell and then expands into the other cells to populate all the required values. So the correct choice here is rand array, and all other choices are designed to trick you. So how many of these questions did you get right? Can you post in the comments of this video? And don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my ebook, Top 50 Excel Interview and Assessment Test Questions. It helped a lot of students to get ready and pass the test. Also, for most of my videos, you can download Excel worksheet files to follow along. This is one of the best ways to get up to speed and reinforce the material. Consider subscribing and following this channel. I post new tests and new exercises periodically to help you get prepared. Leave questions or suggestions in the comments of this video, and all the best on your Excel interview and assessment test. Thanks for watching.